feels unfair that this game is so magnified for the Aztecs as like their one opportunity against a team like this that people will really respect and give them props for if they win on the road. But that's the reality of playing in the Mountain West. So they have to take advantage, go into Tempe, and put up a fight. Arizona State's got a lot of really good players. They've got a solid coach, and yeah, it's going to be a battle, big challenge. But these are the kind of games the Aztecs have been stepping up for in the year in the past decade. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Brian, I cannot wait. Uh, you said it. The Sun Devils, a very fast and quick team. As Coach Dutcher said, it's a team that likes to attack the basket. So you hope that some of the bigs here with the Aztecs stop that. First game on the road for the Aztecs. Of course, you don't have any fans, so it's maybe not quite the home court advantage that you normally have, but still getting the Aztecs a little bit out of their rhythm, having to travel, it's going to be tough. Of course, the Aztecs played on Sunday, so they get a few days of rest for the game on Thursday. Arizona State, the last game they played was last Thursday in their win against Cal, a pretty nice conference win there in the Pac-12. So they are going to be well rested, Brian. Maybe an area of concern or anything, especially from what you saw this past Sunday, that you think the Aztecs need to focus on?
Well, the Aztecs always want to come in and handle themselves defensively. And if they can play really good defense, they're going to be in every game. Nobody's going to blow the doors off of them. Pepperdine was the closest we've seen anybody do it in a while, and they shot the lights out from outside to be able to be in that position, leading the Aztecs by 14 at the half and then by 16 in the second half. But Edwards was 5 for 5 from three at one point, and then when the Aztecs were making the comeback, he missed four straight. So their defense needs to be there. I think the defense will be there, and that's something that they can take care of, deal with themselves, and then see where the offense is going to come from. And each week or each game so far, it's been coming from a multitude of different players. If they can get a handful of guys going, I'd really like to see Gomez hit his first couple shots, because then at that point it opens things up for everybody else. We'll see if Trey Pulliam gets the start at point guard and if he can have that dribble drive penetration that's been so good for them. And then what kind of shooting game are Shackle and Matt Mitchell going to have from the outside? If those guys can be lighting it up, it's going to open things up down low for the big fellows with Tomajic, Aguka Rope, who that guy, he's so dependable. He knows what to do with the basketball. If he needs to take it strong to the bucket, or if he can have an opportunity to shoot from the outside. The team is so deep. We've talked about that a bunch. The freshmen didn't get a ton of time this week or in the Pepperdine game. So I'm thinking we're probably going to be relying on the older guys in this Arizona State one, but who knows, man? We got some, 10, 11 guys who want to be in the mix out there, and they're all going to play defense. We'll just see where that offense comes from.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, Brian. I think you might see Dutch go with, those 9, 10 players a little bit more than what you saw against Pepperdine. He pretty much went with 8, and then 2 of the guys saw like 5 or 6 minutes. So especially if maybe you get one of your guys in foul trouble, who knows? But I think you'll see the depth of this team at hand for sure. And you're going to need to see a little bit better shooting from the outside. I don't think anybody can deny that. If you go 2 for 19 again against a top 25 team like the Sun Devils, then I do not like the chances for the Aztecs. But man, it's cool to see this matchup. I know it's a little tough, like you said, Brian, this early, but whether they win or even if they keep it a close game and lose, I think that helps their postseason chances. If for some reason they don't necessarily do super well in the Mountain West, but I think we're pretty confident that they'll be fine there. So I don't know, man. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned, Andy, in the preview of the Pepperdine game was how good Pepperdine's offense had been coming into the game, averaging 92 points a game, and then the Aztecs held them to 50. Arizona State's putting up huge numbers. Have scored in the 90s twice and over 100 once. They've got four players averaging double digits and a fifth player averaging 9.5 points a game. So that's a lot of equal distribution on the offensive end. Do the Aztecs step their game up the way they have on the defensive end? Like, are they going to be able to slow this team down for Arizona State, or are we going to see a game in the 70s, 80s?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, the chances are better for the Aztecs if they can definitely keep it in the 70s. I mean, I think anything above that, we're treading some tough, dangerous waters. So you said it, Brian. And anytime the Aztecs D comes, you see the numbers go down for the opposing team. I'm confident that'll happen against Arizona State. To what extent they do that, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's going to be a close game. Whether they win or lose, who knows? But I would not be surprised if this was less than a 10-point ball game, one way or the other.
I'm excited, and it's actually going to be on
Yeah.
TV this time instead
right?
of the streaming.
The live stream with choppy audio.
Okay. I really like John Schaefer. I think he's a good play-by-play voice, and I enjoy watching him when he's calling Aztecs games. And I know that streaming can have its challenges. We've done a ton of streams over the years, so it's not always perfect. But when you have a team on the cusp of the top 25 in college basketball, you got to be able to have a solid connection, be able to get the game up. The game came on with 5 minutes gone in the first half already. And that kind of thing is just inexcusable for a basketball program, especially a big time one. It would be inexcusable for a lower level program, but not a perennial top 25 basketball program. So I know it's something they're probably working on to get that going, but I am excited to have this one on real TV where we know that the game is going to start on time. We're going to see it, and there shouldn't be much interruption. So that is something I'm looking forward to, getting the Aztecs back on the tube.